Guys, and welcome back. Today we're gonna get pressurized, so I hope you guys are ready. So today is gonna be all about Pneumaticcraft. I want to hop in, get some things started. I have some iron building up. We're gonna need a lot of iron for Pneumaticcraft. It is its own beast when it comes to that. Now I have some TNT, some iron. I have some different dye here. We're gonna talk about that here in a minute because we're gonna talk about this plastic mixer here soon. But we need to get this iron blasted up. And I do mean blasted. It is, yeah, this is probably the funnest part. So the cobblestone, it's not really necessary, although it will help a little bit as far as like the blast reduction is going to, you know, I don't want to destroy this entire island with a block of TNT. But right here, what I can do is we're going to have a 20% loss on this. So if I take a look at the material I need right here, which is compressed iron, we could do it this way, which takes a block of iron, which is 9, and take a much larger reduction here. So this with the block, it says it's a 2x2 packing recipe, but it's not going to give us what I want. This is only going to give us 4 for 9 iron. Instead, why don't we just take the hit and just take the 20% loss, which would be much better than taking this much higher loss, which is over half of the amount of iron. So yeah, I think I'm going to go this route instead. And it shouldn't be too hard to do. We just ignite some TNT, place it next to it. Of course, don't place it near the edge of the island, and let it rip. And as you can see, we didn't really even lose that much. There's like a chance. So yeah, 20% chance, and that's the case. And because we placed cobblestone here, that took most of the blast and didn't really destroy too much, which is a nice plus. So we're probably going to do this more than once as I'm still waiting for iron to process. But instead of just sitting there waiting the whole time, I can go ahead and get some machines built. One of those being the plastic mixer, and we can actually get the plastic already made up. So to make this more understandable, what I'm really going for is this tablet, but not just this tablet. There's some other things we need as well, but we basically need to make some PCBs. So we need to make a blank PCB or just a PCB blueprint, and that's going to be used to make the UV light box. The UV light box is going to be used for these processes. So we need some green plastic. That's why I'm making the plastic mixer. And then we also need a pressure chamber. This is the whole part of Pneumaticcraft, though, is making the pressure chamber. So I'll get into that shortly. But the empty PCB is then going to be made with etching acid, and etching acid is also made in the pressure chamber. So all these things we're going to get into here in a minute. But as you can see, we get ourselves an unassembled PCB. And then we also need to make the transistors and then also the capacitors, all of which are also made in the pressure chamber. You're seeing a trend here, right? And then this gets us a printed circuit board. The printed circuit board is then going to be used to craft all of these machine cases. And our ultimate goal is to make it so that way we can make these printed circuit boards a lot more efficiently. And to do that, we need to make some assembly units. And the assembly unit itself is a multi-block that can make these printed circuit boards a lot quicker. So that's the ultimate goal, right? But as you can see, these circuit boards can be used for a lot of different things. But the main thing that I'm interested in right now is getting that one singular block, which is this right here. And that way we can get into a crafting storage that is much easier to use. Much easier. And finally, we'll have the ability to do the crafting. Oh, look, there's an easier recipe now. How nice. But anyways, getting this storage is my ultimate goal. Don't know if we're going to be able to get to it today, but I want to at least try and get most of the way there. So right here, I need to kind of get this a bit more situated. Right now, we need to place the plastic mixer. I'm going to place it right here for right now. It's okay. I think this is kind of a perfect little setup with it being on top here. So the plastic mixer here is a little bit different. Almost forgot. This is going to need heat. I don't know. Actually, I think that if I go ahead and do this, this should start extracting out the plastic. And then that should go in here. I think this is fine. I don't need any kind of heater or anything like that, or way to disperse the heat. I think this should be fine. You can see there's problems right now. It's because it's missing the dye, but soon enough, as you can see, the problem's fixed. Okay, So we're getting molten plastic. That's going to raise the temperature. I wouldn't really worry about that too much. It's not going to be such it's not going to be a large deal. Over here, we can select what we want. I believe it is, where's our plastic section? Right here? Oh, here it is. Right here. So now that we have the plastic built up, we can actually click the green, and whatever we click here, we can even lock selections. This is going to allow us to make that plastic, and as you can see right here, I just made this plastic. Now, this isn't the only thing we're going to be needing. Of course, as you see, to produce this, we are going to need the empty PCB, and then this is going to need to be assembled. To do that, we need the transistors, which means we need black plastic. Actually, instead of highlighting that, let's just highlight the transistors. We're going to need the capacitors, and we're also going to need Assorted Quartz, which we should be able to get later on with mining. This is going to require cyan and black as well. So we are going to need a bit of that plastic on top of everything else. So just like that. I don't know how many of these make. This makes 1 a piece, right? And so to make this PCB, we needed 3 a piece. So just to make sure we can at least get the first one, we need to make sure we can have all 3 here. So there we go. There's all 3. And then this. Okay. So that should be everything. Let's get some pressure on. And as I said before, last episode, we're going to be doing that sort of over in this area. I think we should be able to set up some pressure stuff and get it to work over here. So some things we definitely need to make is going to be some pressure chamber interfaces. We're going to need a couple of these. As you can see, we can make hoppers. I think I have some hoppers actually stored up. But we need to make the pressure chamber blocks. So this right here, first of all, we'll go ahead and craft up a few of these. We're not going to need all that many. Let's go ahead and just, for example, also I'm going to need some pressure chamber glass, which that just requires a piece of glass in here. I do want at least 1 piece of this so we can see the items going inside and see when they're done, because I'm kind of going to rely on sight for the most part. But this is a multi-block, actually. And I just want to kind of get an idea of how big this thing is going to be. Let's see. We'll go ahead. I just want to line this out. Not all of this is going to be this block. Okay, so for example, right here is going to be a block. I think this is going to be blocked out as well. And boy, that is really trippy, isn't it? It is super trippy. And then right here, we're going to have the extraction chamber. Here is going to be a piece of glass. And we can set glass on the other side as well. Doesn't really matter. I think that will look all right. There we go. But this corner, let's go ahead and place there. All right, so on top is where I'm going to place a valve. I think on this side over here, I don't know if the valve has to be in the middle. I think right here I'm probably going to place another valve. This is going to be our actual pressure valve. So let's get to crafting. There's so much stuff to do. Right here, let's go ahead and make some pressure tubes. Then we're going to use that to make a pressure chamber valve. We just need 1 for right now. This is the valve that is going to let us input air into this to build up pressure, just like so. And then I think the other stuff is just getting the I/O ports, basically the input and output ports. So here we go. I think we have enough stuff for this. There we go. Let's go ahead and grab. I'll go ahead and make all the hoppers. Why not? So this right here is just going to be. We actually need 2 of these. These are the import and export in the same right. Let me kind of demonstrate. So if I place this down, you see this side says input. Well, this side says output. So we need to define this by just placing it on the direction that we see. So right here, if I place this, it's going to say input. I don't want the input to be here. I actually want the input to be on the top. It's going to make things just a little bit easier for me to see. You can see the input says there. Now on the output, I'm just going to hop in here after breaking this and place it from this side. Now this becomes an output, and you can see the input here, but that's not the important part, right? All right, so let's go ahead and fill this in. I think this is about it. And when we complete that, as you can see, we have a completed pressure chamber. Right. And yeah, all the stuff is going to happen in here. So let's get into some pressure stuff. Yeah, that's what you call it. Pneumatic stuff? There we go, pneumatic stuff. So I know this can be a little bit tedious and maybe difficult to understand, but right here is a regular air compressor. And don't think of this as being hard. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. By the way, I mentioned getting charcoal. Well, there is a pretty easy way. We actually did it right from the beginning. I kind of showed you how to get charcoal. Let's go ahead and place this here. You can see that we can hook up pipes to it. So those pipes are going to be these pressure tubes. And then I can just route this particular pressure tube all the way up here and insert that into our pressure chamber. And then, by the way, if this gets filled up too much, you can kind of view that here on this gauge. And we can actually make a gauge. Let's see. I think it's gauge. Pressure gauge. So yeah, we can make a pressure gauge. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. I think we can slap that on there so we can get a visual representation automatically of how this is going to work. If I have gold laying around here somewhere. There we go. Of course I do. So let's go ahead and throw this just like so, almost as if we're making a watch, right? Pressure gauge. And we should be able to, like I said, slap this on the side. And what better place to do that than, I don't know, right here? Can't we slap this on the side? Maybe that's the advanced one we can do. Yep, it definitely does, but we probably should actually make the right thing first, which is the pressure gauge tube module. And I believe we can shift right click this onto the part you can see right here. And this will give us a representation, sort of. I don't think we can see it very clearly. I can kind of see it. All right, I can kind of see it. This, by the way, will emit a redstone signal. So let's go ahead and throw some coal in here. This is going to start generating some pressure automatically, and this is going to slowly increase. I recommend usually having 3 of these, and then also setting up a redstone signal for them. But slowly but surely, this is going to end up building up pressure. Another thing that I would recommend is probably getting a security upgrade. A security upgrade is going to basically prevent your machines from exploding. So I recommend making this. As you can see, we need a safety tube module and put that inside of here. You don't have to put it inside of here, but you can. But put it inside of here. You don't want this exploding. As you can see, there's already some pressure building up in here. So to get started though with our pressure chamber, like I said, a security upgrade is going to be definitely a thing worth getting. I'm going to go ahead and make that here in a second. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at the pneumatic wrench. I think I have inside my engineer's box. Of course, I have some levers. Let's go ahead and grab this. So I want to make a pneumatic wrench. So the pneumatic wrench needs a charger. So let's go ahead and grab that. And this is going to be hooked up to our tubes as well. And this is going to be how we rotate our omnidirectional hoppers. The omnidirectional hoppers are really, really neat. And they have a lot of different functionality. So you can see inside here we have some different modes, and the big one is the redstone functionality that is going to be super helpful. Plus, we can pull stuff out of the sides of things. Oh, that is another really nice feature of this. But the omnidirectional wrench is going to help us get those things turned and get the hopper turned the direction that we want them turned. So as our pressure chamber is filling up, to get pressure into our pressure charging station, let's go ahead and make sure all these are on, and this is building up pressure, and we can go ahead and throw this in here to put the pressure in here. Now, what will happen is pressure is going to be kind of a thing that, I don't know, like this right here, for example. This builds up pressure inside, but the amount of bars inside the pipe will only be as high and will eventually equal out inside the wrench. You won't get more pressure in here than this, so it's not like a charge. It's more like a balance of pressure. And that's how much is actually going to fill in here. But you really don't need much inside this wrench. And of course, you can always throw more in later. So let's go ahead and pressurize our first thing. By the way, you can see this right here is making that noise. That's because this security upgrade is allowing air to escape. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and shut this off so we don't blow up one of these tubes, because that will let pressure out, I do believe. So if one of the tubes blow, that's not a good thing. So the pressure is right where we want it. And let's go ahead and place our hoppers. Now, as you can see, the hoppers didn't really place the way I wanted them to. Same goes for this. Let's go ahead and just place a hopper on here because we should be able to get it out regardless. Yeah, it's not really facing the right way. So we can actually change this direction, as you can see, like that with this. This one I think I'm just going to go ahead and place directly straight down like that. Now the good thing about this omnidirectional hopper and this hopper alone is this is the pressure chamber, this is the valve, and this is the hopper. We need to configure the redstone so that way items can drop into this pressure chamber interface. They'll go inside this slot. As you can see right now, the gate is open. The gate will then close, and then this gate will open, allowing the items to drop in. Then this gate will close, and then vice versa. So what we need to do is we need to basically allow this hopper right here to always function, even if it has a redstone signal. So I want to set this to low signal, so that way when I activate this, it technically turns this on. But at the same time, it shuts this off. Or I guess you should say, yeah, it turns this on. So right now you can see that this is not functioning. So as soon as I flip this lever, once we put the items in, let's actually flip this to always, because I think that will work regardless of what the redstone signal is. I don't know. I might be just talking. So let's just go ahead and do it. Let's just see if this will work. These are the 2 items we need. So we throw that in, and then you can see the gate opens up. The item just went in. This opened. Okay, so it's for this side. I was like, what am I doing wrong? There we go. Because that doesn't need anything. Right. So that went in. This is the side that acts a little funny. I don't know if that actually showed it opening as well, but that's not the case. Because we don't want the items coming out like that. You see that this is like still doing some stuff? This is where we want to activate this. Because it's just going to pull the items directly out, and we don't want that to happen. It didn't lose any pressure, but we want to be able to control this this hopper. Or actually control this gate here. So let's turn this to low signal, so that way it doesn't do that anymore. And that's the actual interface itself. I want the interface to be only on when I say it can be on. So let's try that again. Let's drop this in and that. And then we can actually watch the items go in. And then we can actually watch them do their thing. And they're going to pressurize. And we should see the next item come in. There we go. And as you can see, it just made the item. Now I can flip this. And then I should receive my item inside my hopper. There we go. And then I can shut that back off again. And this is how we're going to get the items in and out of this pressure chamber. So let's go ahead and make the UV chamber that we're going to be using to convert this from an empty PCB to an actual PCB. To do that, I'm going to need some of that plastic that we made up. Let's go ahead and grab that. There we go. It's going to be so nice when we have a crafting grid that I can just like search the items in. Oh man. All right, so we have this and we need to make the sun box. So I'm going to need some redstone and glowstone. There we go. I actually have some glowstone stored up over here. Let's go ahead and grab that. And then we should be good. We should be able to go ahead and craft this. Now, I normally don't like to show too much crafting, but I'll let this be an exception. Because this is kind of cool. I kind of like these crafting recipes, to be honest. And it kind of helps understand how this mod works, because this mod is not the best as far as documentation. There's not too much on it. And especially the repressurized version. I know it's been out for a while, but still. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and actually replace this with this for right now. If I place it the right way. Let's place it like this. Nope, wrong. Let's wrench it. There we go. Now it's connected. Let's go ahead and flip these on. And it should start sending power into here. And there you go. As you can see, no problems. Everything's pressurized because it's keeping the same pressure. Now, what this should do, I think this machine right here will depressurize so we don't have to worry about this overdoing it. But then again, I might, just for the sake of it, probably want to upgrade this. Now, you can see this, it goes at an all right pace, but later on, we're going to get into some things that it's going to take a little bit more time. So one of the important things we're going to need to make is going to be the etching acid. And to do that, let's throw all of these items in here. We'll go ahead and let them all hop in and combined. Now, etching acid is the thing that's going to take a little bit of time. So this is already almost done. It's at 50% success chance, or for the etch, I guess, is a 50% success chance. I guess if you were to pull it out. Okay. Anyways. Oh, I guess it's the etch as in like if we threw in etching acid. We want to let this go ahead and get to 100%. There's no sense in us having a failed experiment there. So etching acid, we're going to throw a bucket of water, just a few items, and I did go ahead and make 3 more plastic. All of this combined together. As soon as our last bit gets in, which should have dropped in now, there we go, and we get etching acid. Let's go ahead and pull that out. And this is something that's actually going to go into the world. Like, it's going to be placed in the world. And I don't remember if I have like a block under here. I do. So that's good. That means I can break this block and place our etching acid right here. It's kind of a nice place for it. Doesn't have to be anywhere fancy, but there's our etching acid. This should be already almost done. I'm going to go ahead and wait for this to finish, and once it's finished, we should be really close to having ourselves like a final product. Like, we're getting pretty close. All we got to do is make these. So I'm going to go ahead and get these prepped up and get them thrown in and get them made up, because this is the like almost the last parts that we need. So this is now at a 97% chance. It is getting pretty high up there. I think it's at the point where that actually might be good enough. Nope. Yep, it's going to go all the way up. So what I want to do is I want to take this out. I think at a 90%, it should be fine. 98 should be fine. But what I want to do is I want to toss that in here. Don't worry, it will not despawn. Even though it looks like it's going to float and bounce out, it should not despawn. It should stay there and do its thing. I believe. As you can see, the etching percent chances is already taking place. I believe it takes about 5 minutes. And while we're doing that, let's go ahead and find a new biome. As you can see, I've already made the transistors and capacitors here. And we had a new biome to find, because we got to find Assorted Quartz. And I have no idea where I put my... Oh, there it is. My biome finder. So we are looking for a particular biome, and it is the Lush Hills biome, which shouldn't be too hard to put in here or find. Lush Hills. We got to scroll all the way down until we find the L's. And Lush Hills biome and search. So it's actually pretty close by. Oh, we're getting this. Let me make sure I turn this off real quick. Okay, it already is off. Just making sure. All right. So that once those run out, those will run out. So a Lush Hills biome, for example. This isn't a Lush Hills, is it? No, it's got to be further out. So here we go. This right here, though, is the Lush. And right here is the Assorted Quartz samples. So we have Nether Quartz, but I'm sure it's going to be both. Nether Quartz, Assorted Quartz samples. That's such a weird name for that. I think I have a shovel on me. I always have a shovel. I just never have an axe. I always have a shovel. Let me go ahead and place some light in here, by the way. Okay. So it does sound like there's some mobs in here. But man, the ore excavation is going to be so satisfying for this. We just got to find where some of that quartz is at. Hopefully it is Assorted Quartz. That wouldn't be... Hopefully it's a mixed bag of everything. I don't even know what to expect, to be honest. And here we go. Assorted Quartz. Looks kind of interesting. So I got Nether Quartz out of that. Oh, it is a whole bunch of quartz. Wow, okay, all kinds of different stuff. I wasn't expecting it to be like all of those different kinds. Look at that. So we're getting Assorted Quartz, charged Assorted Quartz, black quartz, all the quartzes. Huh, not bad. Hey, looky there. When we come back, we have ourselves an unassembled PCB. So let's go ahead and hand assemble this PCB. And I am super excited about this because this means, as you can see right here, this means, oh, we get to move into something new. Now, we're not 100% done, as we do need to make ourselves the final machine casing. And that right there is going to evolve, or going to include the stabilized metal. In the stabilized metal, we are going to need to use the Amidrone tablet, which is actually pretty cool. And it's not too hard to make. So I think next episode, we're going to have to get into more of the Pneumaticcraft, because this episode, I think you guys have probably been filled with so much information, you just need a little bit of time to process it. So anyways, guys, as always, I want to say a huge thanks to one of my Patreons, and that is going to go to Thunderbolt 13. Oh yeah. And wow, man, I feel happy that we got this done. This is actually something that I used to dread doing, and now I don't really dread it at all, because understanding how Pneumaticraft works is actually kind of fun. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Of course, if you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and also give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Of course, I will see you in the next episode, and as always, thanks for watching.